Hello, and welcome back to the second episode of Factorio. Today it is time to try and recover from our attack on last episodes, where the biters, they overran my base, and I didn't have any defenses, and I wasn't using the keybinds correctly. So with that, we were left with an overwhelming amount of the biters and destroyed everything. So today is the day that we rebuild and we get our revenge. So, okay, now that we're caught up, let's get back into the game and we can prepare by collecting ourselves and getting some nice ammo together so we can head off to the biters' base, destroy their base, not let them rebuild, and continue our expansion. Okay, first step, let's get a chest together so we can store our resources in, so if we die, we don't have to go fetch it from the biter's base, making it an inconvenience. Probably don't even need to do this, however, I'm just going to do it for safety measures. Okay, we shall head over to the biter's base. Let's take a little bit of caution, just so I don't die so fast. Now that I'm a bit more refreshed with how the combat in this game works, I have a better chance of surviving this episode. So let's hope I don't die this time, and we can do this nice and smoothly. Okay, I made the line, and I said, let's not die, because, well, yeah, that didn't go as planned. There's a little bit too many for just a mere little pistol and basic ammo. No upgrades, so it's a little bit harder, but it's not going to stop me. So let's continue, get back and do it. Now it's time for the slow and tedious process of destroying these hives with only a pistol. Now to you guys it's times full speed, but to me this took too much time to just destroy these, and it was annoying. Because as you can see, every now and again the biters would come out. Okay, sweet. Now that we've got that cleared up and hopefully we won't have any problems with that, we can start on rebuilding the base. Now I'm gonna set up like just a little bit of a stone processing facility. I mean, it's not much of a facility, it's just a couple of miners into a furnace, just so I have just some stone. Be nice and handy for future expansion. Now, like last episode, I'm going to set up the coal, like I had before, and just the miners going round and round to have a nice, beautiful amount of coal to then manually put into all the generators, whatever. But we'll get to that soon. Soon, we won't have to do anything manually. And that is the point of this game. Automation. It is fantastic. Okay. Now I've got the coal set up. I'm going to start on the iron again, and from here we can expand. Starting off with the one furnace, it will slowly, exponentially build up until the point where we have many furnaces. Now in the early game, I don't have like the conveyor belts and stuff, so I'm doing all this manual labor. but I'm very excited to get into all the conveyor belts and the grabbers, so then I can automate everything. And considering it's Factorio and the point of the game is to expand and to automate everything, I am really looking forward to getting through this game for the first time. So you guys get to join me on this fun new adventure where I haven't really used trains or any of the robots. Really, it's just been a lot of conveyor belts, and it can be very inefficient. That's just a basic way of doing the game. So hopefully in future I can focus more on using the robots and the trains, so then I have a bit more variety compared to just using straight conveyor belts. And I don't know if I will do a conveyor bus. I know it's definitely is a way to play the game, but I mean it's always the way that I've played the game. Anytime I've played, I've always gone through with a main conveyor bus, transporting all the iron and the copper and the stone and the coal. Who knows, I might just slap down a spaghetti line of just conveyor belts everywhere, and it would be like pickup 52. It is a mess, and it's just everything's everywhere, and it's going to look horrible. Or I can try and keep everything nice and neat and make it look beautifully neat. Okay, now I've got a good handful of iron miners and furnaces up and going. I shall rebuild the small little copper facility that I had beforehand, just so I don't have a lackluster of copper at all, so I can keep filling in everything out. The research labs, get that red science to research, further expand into the game. Now the problem with my last setup was obviously there was no defense, but because I started getting into automation, or basic automation, mainly electricity, and I was burning coal in that furnace to generate power, it was outputting a lot of pollution, which was making the locals very angry. So that's why they attacked, because they were angered by the pollution nearby. So either in future I go out and I exterminate the locals, or build defenses so if they come to us, we won't have any problems, hopefully. But you know, you can learn from your mistakes, or you could just ignore them and keep having the same things repeat over and over again. It's interesting looking back and seeing that I didn't have the research labs going, and it's hilarious because all it was a lack of copper in the research labs, which took me way too long to find out. Okay, we're just about back to where we were last episode with the 3 research labs going. So now I can continue researching, and we can get into electric miners and the conveyor belts, so we can get into the automation. Okay, while we're waiting for the electric miners to be researched, if you guys are enjoying these types of videos where I record the gameplay and then just record a voiceover afterwards, sort of kind of going along and trying to have a conversation with you guys. Leave a like below, subscribe, and leave a comment on your favorite part in the video. And if you guys want to see more of this, let me know. I will try my best to continue doing this sort of content, but yeah, thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, looking at the map, you can see that there is another red dot here, and that's a biter's base. We don't like those. So I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna exterminate the base, so it doesn't become a problem in the future. Because if we have learnt anything in the past, that if we leave them alone, they will just get too aggressive, too big, too fast, and they will outmatch us, and we'll have to start again. And well, as much as that was kind of fun going through and starting the base again, that was tedious and unnecessary. So let's not make the past a problem again. Now, running along the bottom here, I came along a biter's base, which is very close to where the pollution is. However, as you can see, there is a lot of biters, and there is multiple biter hives there, which I can't take out comfortably with only the pistol. It is too much, and I'm going to die, and the enemies are too strong. However, we can come back to this in the future. When we research better equipment, we can come back with like assault rifles, and we can take that base out. I'll probably get around to doing that next episode, most likely. We'll see how much I get done, but I am looking forward to taking it out. However, it's going to take a little bit more firepower. Okay, while we're in the tech tree, you can see that there is the research labs, which is what I want to get to, so I don't have to use the burner miners. So we're gonna go down the path of electricity, which is going to use more copper, which is fine, but we also need to get steam engines, so we can produce power easier. Well, not easier, more effectively than just burning coal. We can burn the coal, and well, it's steam power, so you can burn the coal, heat up the water, and generate power that way. But other than that, now that we've got the electric miners and conveyor belts, we can start setting up a more advanced iron system. So, and from there, we can produce the plates, and we can produce just more of everything faster and more effectively. And as we produce these stuff faster, we're going to need more iron, and later on down the line, we're going to need to use trains to expand out to new resource deposits, bigger resource deposits, so we can have more iron. And that's not a now problem, that'll be later down the line. But until then, we will set up a small mining facility that uses electricity instead of burning coal in the miners, and combine them with conveyor belts, and we get a nice line of iron ore, which then can be transferred into stone furnaces. And from there, we can turn them into a few different things. Ammo, precisely ammo, that will come in a lot of use later on, but also these iron cogs, combining those with copper plates, and we can get more of the red science packs. Now, I can be a little bit excessive sometimes when it comes to how much I need of something. I don't ever really see that being much of a problem, but I guess later on the game you can build too big, kind of run out of space or run out of resources to produce certain things and have a balanced setup, so might try and avoid doing that, but there's only so much you can do in the early game with the knowledge I have, so So if you guys got any suggestions or any tips you guys can give me, let me know, and I'll definitely take those into consideration. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to set up a bigger version of what we had before, but with conveyor belts. So I'm splitting the iron ore down 2 lengths. There is maths on how much like a certain amount of electric miners support furnaces and stuff. I don't know it. I'm sure I could work it out, but at the moment I'm just kind of winging things, and if I need more iron I'll put down more electric furnaces. But here at these like T intersections, we can use like half side of the conveyor belts, which is really handy because instead of having to use a short grabber and a long arm grabber, we can just use a singular arm that will grab the iron on one side, and then later when I put coal into the system, that same grabber will then grab the coal on that conveyor belt, and we won't have to worry about 2 lines of conveyor belts and 2 sets of grabbers. And it makes a big setup, well, it makes this kind of setup more efficient at times. Okay, now that we've got an iron production on a larger scale, we can now just start storing, at the moment, the iron plates. So then we can use it in our expansion. And having it just all come down to the conveyor belt and into one crate makes it easier to collect it. And it also means that the furnaces that are producing the plates won't back up as frequent compared to if I was just going along and manually collecting it all. So we've got that, and it's hilarious watching me trying to figure out the most optimal way to place as many of the storage containers without having to place another singular power pole. That's what I'm doing here. I don't want to place another power pole because efficiency. But I managed to cram in 4 of the crates, so then we have consistent output of iron plates into storage, and it's beautiful. Okay, now that we got the production of that set up and got it going, it's time to add coal into this automatically, so I don't have to manually place coal into all the furnaces. So I didn't have to use tunnels here. I could have just gone around the cliff, but you know, couldn't be bothered. So when you got tunnels, I'm gonna use tunnels, and I'm just gonna split the coal down the line, and all the furnaces will have a sufficient amount of coal to keep going, and they won't run out of coal anytime soon, hopefully. Unless that deposit of coal is a very small amount, but it looks pretty big to me. It just depends on how rich it is. So, but yeah, that's the iron set up. Now we just gotta get a copper and a stone version of that set up, and we have the basic materials of everything, and from there we can produce more complex materials such as the wire and iron cogs, and even from there you can produce more complex things such as electricity boards and so on, to the point where you're building the rocket ship, which is the end game. But yeah, that's everything done for today. I think we'll definitely go down the electricity era of the tech tree, so we can unlock steam power and better research labs, and we'll work towards green science. And in next episode, we will probably cover destroying the enemy hive so it doesn't become a problem. You know, instead of ignoring it like I did with the other one. Especially if we don't have defense and I ignore it, we're gonna have episode 1 proceed again in future. Which we don't want to do that, because that's just more of the same thing over and over again. We wanna continue forwards. Okay. So we'll definitely go and take care of that base. So, thank you for watching, and shall see you all next episode.